And joining us from Traverse City, Michigan is Julie Macintosh, the author of Dethroning the King, the Hostile Takeover of Anheuser-Busch, an American icon. Julie, good morning to you.
Morning.
For those not familiar with August Busch IV, what do you think people should know about him?
He's a conflicted man. I think one of the most defining things in his life and his history has been his really difficult relationship with his father, August Busch III. And that's something that has made his life incredibly tumultuous. He didn't spend much time with his dad ever, except for when they were at the office. And his father has been very stingy with giving praise, and it's been something that the Fourth has always longed for, acceptance from his father. And it's not clear whether he ever really got that, even as CEO of Anheuser-Busch.
That's interesting. I know in his youth he had a Playboy image. Did he embrace that?
I wouldn't say he embraced it necessarily, but it isn't clear that he really tried to turn the coin and do something else either. People really lobbied for him to change that image, especially on Anheuser-Busch's board. They felt it was much more responsible, at least from appearance's sake, if he kind of tamed that a little bit. But as we can see, he's still dating a 27-year-old. There's a little bit of a May-December romance going on there. And the counter argument is he's no longer working for the company. He can essentially do whatever he'd like.
Well, Anheuser-Busch IV, August Busch IV, rather, was at the helm when his family's company was taken over after the family owned it for, what, more than 100 years. What did that do to him personally?
He told the distributors of Anheuser-Busch beer just a few months before the company was taken over that it would never be taken over on his watch. So he felt that he violated a level of trust he had with the company's employees and distributors by promising it wouldn't get taken over and then allowing it to happen. So I know that that was really difficult for him after the deal to accept that he wasn't able to live up to his promise. But one of the things that I speak to at great lengths in my book is that I actually don't attribute that much of the blame to the company's takeover to August Busch IV. I think a lot of the reason Anheuser-Busch became so vulnerable was during his father's reign and the decisions that his father made.
Julie, let me ask you this. Charges have not been filed in this case, but what do you think? Charges or no charges, what are the implications here for August Busch IV?
Well, in terms of whether charges will be filed or not, I think there's certainly the potential that August Busch IV just has incredibly bad luck, and this woman may have died from circumstances that had nothing to do with him. That said, he has long lived a fast life, so it doesn't necessarily mean that he wasn't involved in some way. We'll just have to see. But the implications for him going forward are interesting in that he is a board member of Anheuser-Busch InBev currently, and they're going to have to make a determination as to whether they're comfortable with him being in the public eye right now for something like this. I don't think they necessarily have to wait for charges to be filed to make their own corporate decision on the matter. And I'm sure they've talked to him about what has happened, and we might get a sense of what they believe actually happened behind the scenes based on what their decision is. It'll
be interesting to see how this pans out. Julie Macintosh, the author of Dethroning the King, the Hostile Takeover of Anheuser-Busch, an American icon. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.